Good afternoon, everybody. I trust we are all doing great. Welcome to today's class on Lesson 4. And today on Lesson 4, we'll be considering Lesson 4. We'll be looking at Lesson 4 has to do with student score sheet in Excel. Okay, score sheet template. Let's have it this way. Okay, right. So let's proceed to our folder while we create survey lesson 4. Okay, lesson 4. So all right, so let's have it as let's have this as lesson 4. So let's call it score sheet. Student score sheet, right? Okay, so we have this as student score sheet. Double click just to rename it. You double click and name it student score sheet. Okay, right. So now for us to work on this, we would have so create our work area. So now all borders, right? Then of course this first two we'll reserve it for okay. So let's merge center. So we're going to merge and center it. So okay, so in the student score sheet, so we said the heading is going to be student score sheet. Okay, so we bold this, make it 20. So at this point you have serial number, first name, last name, gender. Of course we have transfer this to be first name, last name, gender, then type of study, maths score, grade for maths, English score. Okay, so type, we have wrap text, wrap text, we have grade of English, grade maths, so biology, so we have grade of biology. Okay, so we wrap the text, click to wrap the text here, then average score, let's also wrap this text, and of course we have remark. Okay, so at this point we can bold this, right? So bold this, yes. Bold this, all right. Okay, so we have all our columns intact. And just reserve, we may decide to remove this, delete this. Alright, so we have, so this is the heading. Let's have it, the serial number, first name, last name, gender, type of study, and of course we have our remark. Okay, we have our remark. So at this point we need to populate 1 to 20, right? So 1 to 20 field series, so that's 1 to 20. So now we have to provide the names. Okay, so I'll be populating the names now. Kati, Dean, Alice, Ibarra. Then we have Sawyer, David. We have Amina, Bashir. Of course, we have Bulus, Garba. Okay, then we have Emeka, Ikena. Then we have Chioma, Eze. So I'll be right back to while we So we have our tables, we have our last name, we have our first name and last name being populated. Okay, so these are the names we have here. Those are the names. Okay, these are the names, right? So now we have this. Okay, so for the names. So the next thing is we want to proceed to our gender and type of study. But when we talk about gender, our gender, our gender, our gender is we have female, then 2 we have male, right? Then type of study will include type of study. This will be arts, commercial, and we have science. Okay, so we want to have data validation on this, right? We also want to have data validation here. Now this is what we refer to, this is a list, okay, and this is also a list. This is list of items and list of items. So instead of us proceeding and typing each of them, male, female, just want it to be possible that instead of us typing the name one after the other, we want it to be possible for us to just select at a go and choose our respective gender and study type. So what we just do here is this. I would have just come here and have this as female and male. Then we'll have this as art, commercial, and science. Okay, so now we would come here. So let's validate here. We will click on data. You will select data validation. Click on data validation, and then of course we select list. Okay, and to access for the source of list. So all we do is we'll click here to get the source. So what this is, when that displays, we select these two as the source. So it displays, this is what it displays here. So we have absolute cell reference in here of Q4, Q5. Okay, so then we click back to return back to our data validation wizard. Okay, so once we're done, input message. Okay, input message can be the title, can be gender. Can I have this gender, say input gender. Okay, input gender. Okay, so input gender, then of course alert is you can have this as invalid or gender. Okay, re-enter gender, right? So this is going to be the error message that will be this place. So once we are done, we click on OK. And at this point now, we can come back now. We have this at this point. Okay, so this has been validated. So what we just need to do now is we drag it to the last point here. Okay, so that we can now begin the selection of Kathy and Alice, of course, female. Okay, female. Okay, then of course Soya is male. Right, we're going to complete this, get back. Okay, or just alright. So we're done populating the gender now, right? So let's proceed to populating our study. Of course, we need to validate the type of study. Of course, this is also going to be a list. Select the list. Of course, it's going to be this. We select that. Then, of course, we say okay, just like we did this input. Just like we did for gender, you can have an input message if you wish, an error and that. Okay, right. So I'll click on OK. So at this point, this has been validated. So what we just need to do is to update for the rest of the other cells. Okay, so now I begin to select, as this is going to be science, commercial, science, arts. Okay, commercial, 6 is arts, 7 is science, 9 is commercial, 10 is arts, 11 is science, 12 is arts, 13 is commercial, 14 is arts, 15 is commercial, arts, commercial, arts, commercial, and of course we have science. Okay, so now we want to impute the math scores. So we're going to impute the scores. Okay, right. So we have imputed the grades. So these are the grades. Okay, the grades now. These are the grades. Okay, right. So we have the grades here. So the next thing is, or discuss rather, this is the discuss of math scores, English scores, biology scores. Okay, now the only thing is we now want to get the grade for English, for the math, English and biology. We want to get these grades. Okay, so how do you go about getting the grade? We proceed by writing set of logical conditions. Okay, refer to it as if conditions. Okay, if conditions. Right. So now based on this score, we will notice that we are going to have a range, right? That we have score, and of course we have grade. Okay, so based on the score and the grade, score, grade, let's see, it's going to be so our score, so from 70 to 100. Okay, then from 60 to 69, then from 50, 59, 59, then from 40, 45 to 49, and of course then from 40 to 44, then from 0 to 39, F, E, D, C, B, and we have A. Okay, so we want to proceed in writing the command that will prompt this. Right, so we're going to have this, that if let's not forget to put our if. Okay, if, okay, is going to be based on the score F4, and this is going to be greater than or equals to 70. Okay, it's greater than or equals to 70. So whatever we type in here will be a reflection in the formula bar. Okay, so what we have here, they are linked together, right? So make sure, right? So let's continue. That's going to be an A. Okay, if F4 is greater than equals to 16, that's going to be a B. If F4 is greater than or equals to 50, it's going to be a C. If F4 is greater than or equal to 40, I guess 45, right? Okay, 45, that's going to be a D. If F4 is greater than or equals to 40, let's get an E, otherwise we'll have F. So we will need to close the brackets in 5 places, right? So it's very important. How do you know that? Yeah, when we count the number of E's. So this is 1. Okay, count the number of ifs. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you close the bracket 5 times, right? And be mindful of the commas here, right? So once we're done, hit enter. Of course, we have that as a B. Okay, so we have that as a B. Okay, now, so what happened here is, instead of me to start computing for this, what I just need to do is come here, then we will update. Okay, so this gives us the other grades. Now, how do we get the grade for English? Now you discover that English is going to be what? H4, right? H4. So what we just simply do is we click here and we select this formula, Control C, okay, and come here, and then we paste it here, right? But what we just simply have to do is to change these to H. Okay, it's going to be H. Say H. It's going to be H. It's going to be H, right? So I guess we're done. So um, that's at this point. This is it here. It's the full formula. Okay, so this is it here, right? That's H4, 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 H4. So done. Hit enter. Okay, so we would have this done. So we come here too, and then we update. Okay, we update. So this is a grade here. Okay, now once we're done, we also do the same here, but we have to find out the cell that's J4, right? So for J4, paste this. Right, select this C. So I will change this to J, right? It's going to be J. J is going to be J. It's be J, 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 right? Okay, so we have that. It's the value J. Okay, so we click here and then we can update. So right, so that's the grade here. Okay, so the next thing is we want to determine we want to determine our average score. Okay, the average score of the three subjects here. Okay, average score of the three subjects. Okay, average score of the three subjects. So that's going to be this cell here, score here, and this and this. Okay, that's by 3. Okay, so of course we may want to reduce it to 2 places of decimal. So it's for decimal precision. This is it here. You locate this button here. So by the time this is to increase and this is to reduce to 2 places of decimal. Okay, right. So once we're done, we update, right? Yes, we update this. Now we want to give a remark, so that we want to determine our pass mark. Now what is pass mark? A pass mark is remark. So our remark is going to be nothing but our remark. Our remark is going to be based on student passes or fail. When it scores the pass mark now is going to be 40 to 100. Okay, then of course 0 to 39 we fail. So how do we do that? Okay, how do we do that? So for us to be able to execute this, it should now be that if the average score is greater than or equal to 40, then it should display pass, right? Otherwise it should be fail. Okay, right. So we discover that this is the logical statement again. Let me see, this is what it looks like. Okay, so and of course we're going to type it in here, right? It's on the remark. Okay, so let's just click here. So this is it here. If our L4, this is L and this is L4, okay, L4 is, no, this is L and this is 4. Okay, so if L is greater than or equal to 40, it should be passed, else fail. Okay, so that is the command there, right? Then of course we can update, so you can now see that everything now becomes a pass, right? So at this point we have successfully come up with a student score sheet template, which we have been able to validate the gender and of course the type of study. Just before okay, so in the succeeding videos on this, will show us how to freeze a cell. But just before we round up, let's see how can we freeze a cell, because you see, as we begin to move up, this cell is hidden. Okay, so for us to freeze from this row upward, you select this row here, right? Then you go to view, right? Then you click on freeze panel. Okay, click on the freeze panel, then of course freeze panel, then you click on freeze pane. Alright, so when that is done, when we scroll down now, we discover that we can keep a track. Okay, this no longer vanishes as we scroll down, so you can actually keep track of our sheet. Then of course we can also hide, okay, just to hide our column. So how do you go about that? So you can click here, look at this, it says hide, you can hide. Oh, so one thing we should know is this: when you click on this hide, it will hide. Look at this logo, looks like your Windows environment. Okay, so once you click on this hide, it will hide the whole sheet. So what you just need to do is to just click on hide window, then you select the sheet and say okay, right? But if you want to hide this particular column, okay, just right click and say hide, right? Then of course you can also hide this. So for you to unhide, you just select these two, right click and say unhide, so it will, and of course you can click on it again and say hide. So that's how we can hide and unhide columns. Okay, so in the next videos we will see how to create pivot tables and how to sort our tables. Okay, so God bless you and have a wonderful day